In this tutorial, we will learn about how to write a C program to calculate the factorial of a number using recursion concept. So recursion is primarily a technique in programming where a function calls itself. So that technique is referred to as recursion, and we will be using that technique to calculate factorial of a number. Before we begin writing the program, let us just understand that what does factorial of a number mean. So for example, if I write 5 factorial, so this exclamation mark is the symbol of factorial. It basically means you need to multiply all the numbers in decreasing order till 1. So if I write 5 factorial, you need to go from 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 and multiply all the numbers which come in that range. So you'll get the answer as 120 if you multiply all the numbers. Similarly, if there is any n factorial, you need to multiply that n into n minus 1, n minus 2 till 1. And few facts you need to remember is 0 factorial is also 1 and 1 factorial is also 1. And so this is the basic concept. But if you observe one thing, when I wrote 5 factorial, for example, what I wrote 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. But if you observe this thing very carefully, 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is what? It is nothing but 4 factorial. So 5 factorial can also be written as 5 multiplied with 4 factorial. And if I break that 4 factorial down again, I can write it as 5 into 4 into 3 factorial. So any n factorial, if we take any number, if you take any n factorial, it can be calculated using n multiplied with n minus 1 factorial. Okay, n minus 1 factorial. So if you observe, to calculate the factorial of n, I am again calling the factorial of n minus 1. And this technique is only referred to as recursion, where if I write a factorial program, I will be again and again calling the factorial program to compute the factorial of this number. So if I calculate this 5 into 4 factorial, let us continue with this example. So if you want 5 into 4 factorial, then if you break it down, this 5 into 4 factorial is what again? 4 into 3 factorial. And if you break it down again, what is 3 factorial again? If you break it down, it will be 3 into 2 factorial. And again 2 factorial can also be broken down. So 2 factorial will be 2 into 1 factorial. And finally you will get the answer as 120. So breaking this down again and again and calling the same function is referred to as recursion. Now let us write a C program for that. So as usual, you first need to write a header file, because this header file has all the standard input output functions like printf and scanf function. Without this header file, you cannot use them. Then you declare your function prototype. So int, let me write the name of the function as factorial, and I'll pass one input argument int n. So this is my function prototype. Next you open your main function int main. So here we need to pass the argument. So we can ask the user to enter any one value. So you declare one variable called int num and one more variable called fact to store the answer. Next you write one printf statement saying enter the value of num. So whatever number the user wants factorial, they will enter the value of num. And using scanf we will store it. And because it is of type integer, we'll write %d and we'll store it inside num variable and num. Next, to calculate factorial, you can call the factorial function. So FACT you can write factorial of num, and after getting the value you can just print the answer. Printf, you can write %d factorial is equal to %d, replace first %d with num value, replace second %d with fact value, because that will have the answer, and this is our function call. And this was our function prototype. So the only thing missing now is function definition. So you can come down and you can write the function definition. So int, then you write the name of the function, which is factorial, and int n was the input argument. So now you observe. So if that input value, whichever you get, if n is equal to 0, or if that n value is 1, so for 0 factorial and n factorial, the answer is 1. So you can directly return 1. So you can write as return 1. Else, so if the value is not that, then as I showed you using that concept that n factorial is equal to n into n minus 1 factorial, you will return this value. Return n multiplied with, you will again call the factorial program, but this time calculating n minus 1. So this is only called the recursion concept, where inside the factorial program you are again calling factorial. So this factorial will again jump back to this function only, and this jumping and looping will keep on taking place till n is 0 or n is 1. So that many times this loop will run, and finally when everything is computed, it will return the answer to fact, and it will print the answer. So this is our function definition. If function definition is not there, again compiler will throw the error, because factorial is a user defined function and you need to define the function definition. So I'll show you the entire code in one page. So this is our entire code, and this is our return value. So three critical components in a function, which are function prototype, function call, and function definition. And this is our return value. This is our return value. So let us compile the code once and give any number to calculate factorial. So it is asking enter the value of num. For example, if I enter 8, for example, it will return 8 factorial is 40,320. And let us try another value. Let me enter 10. So for 10 factorial, it gave this number. So hopefully you understood the program, and this was our factorial program. Thank you for watching.